Hey there, welcome back again. In this lesson, we'll manage bottom sheet buttons to cancel, delete the file, or save it with eventually a new name. So first thing, at activity start, the background should be hidden and the bottom sheet collapsed. For the background view, it's pretty simple. Set visibility to gone in the main activity. Here, the view, visibility gone. Then in the main activity for the bottom sheet, it's a different story. We need a bottom sheet behavior object to handle, obviously, the bottom sheet behavior. So create a private late init var, call it bottom sheet behavior of type bottom sheet behavior, and give it linear layout. So we gave it linear layout because the bottom sheet is a linear layout. Had it been a constraint layout, we should have given it a constraint layout. Here in the bottom sheet, let's give it an ID, because we'll be calling it bottom sheet with single O and 2 T's. Now in the main activity, let's initialize the object in the onCreate, call bottom sheet and bottom sheet behavior dot from the bottom sheet object we defined. So here we need to do two things to hide it. First one, to set the bottom sheet behavior dot peak height and set it to 0. So the peak height is the maximum size of the bottom sheet that will be showing when collapsed. If we set it to 100, then even when collapsed, we'll be able to see a top 100 pixel. If we want to hide it completely, we set it to 0. Now that's not enough. We need to actually set the state to collapsed, and that's it. So the bottom sheet and the background should be visible when we hit the done button. So scroll down to the done button, remove the to do because we'll be finish it now, and do three things. The first one, to expand the bottom sheet using bottom sheet behavior state and set it to bottom sheet dot state expanded. Also show the bottom sheet background, set visibility to view dot with the capital V visible. And another thing is to set the file name input field to the actual file name. So file name input dot set text to our file name. That's it for the done button. Now let's deal with the cancel button. So when we click it, we should first delete the file, clear the file name input, hide the background, collapse the bottom sheet, and hide the keyboard. So to delete the file, just use this line here and add the delete method we didn't call, copy, paste it here. Now the file is gone. Then hide the bottom sheet background and copy just visibility here, paste it and say to gone, and collapse the bottom sheet behavior. So copy, paste this here, call the state collapsed. For the keyboard, we need a custom function created here, private fun hide keyboard, and give it a view, because we'll be using the input method manager. We get it from the system service context dot input method service as input method manager, and the input method manager has a hide keyboard soft input from window, and we need to give it the window token and a flag. The window token will get it from the view, and the flag, give it 0. Now in the cancel function, cancel function, call hide keyboard, and the view should be file name input. Okay, now the keyboard is hidden. Place to the OK button. So just here, button OK, set on click listener. Two things should be done here. First one is to hide everything as we did for the button cancel and save the file. But instead of copying and pasting this here, let's create a function that does this, private undismiss, and we'll be using it in 3 different places. First one in the console, the second one here, and the third one when we click on the background. So let's finish this first and call the save function that we don't have yet. So let's create it here, private unsave, and here we should rename the file if indeed we need to. So let's check if the user has changed the file name input field. So get it from the input file, call it new file name, from file name input dot text dot to string. If the new file is different from the file name, then create a new file, and this should be a file, give it the directory path and the new file name we created, and of course the mp3 extension. And to rename it, just copy this line here, and here change from new file to file name. So we first open the existing file and then call the rename method on it with the new file. Now this line here creates a new file, puts the content of this dir path file name inside this one, and then remove this one. So we'll end up with a single file with the correct name. That's it for the save function and the OK button. And now let's call the button background click listener. Set on click listener, and here just copy paste what's in the console, because here we need to delete the file and dismiss everything. Let's check this. We start recording, we hit done, we have it here, we click here, and something's wrong. The keyboard is hiding the buttons. So let's click here and everything disappeared. Okay, hit cancel, everything is okay. Again, and we don't have the keyboard this time. To correct this, we have 2 things to do. The first one, to avoid the keyboard hiding the buttons, we need to edit the manifest file and add an attribute here, Windows soft input, and set it to adjuster size. Then for the bottom sheet, because we're asking for 2 kinds of animations in the same time in the dismiss function. First, we're calling the bottom sheet state change and hide the keyboard, and Android Studio seems to be lost and performs half of it. So instead of calling them at the same time, let's delay the action, and using a handler, main looper dot pause delay the action, delayed by 100 milliseconds. So first hide the keyboard, wait 100 milliseconds, and start hiding the bottom sheet. This will resolve our problem. Run this to check it, and start recording. Hit done, click here, the keyboard isn't hiding anything. We cancel, everything disappears correctly. Start again, and we click here, and they both work perfectly. So that's it for now. In the next video, we will see how to use the Android Room library to store the file name and other information about the records and query them when necessary. See you then.